Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, one and all. Welcome to Tel Cockerel, Jose and Chang Talk Tottenham, episode 4. I hope everybody in the world is well this morning. Before we start the show, I just would like to say to everybody in England, because people celebrate at different times of the year, but happy Mother's Day to all you lovely women out there, whether you're celebrating today, you celebrated yesterday, or whatever. I hope that your families have looked after you. Chang, good morning. How are you?
A very good evening to you, Jose from Southeast Asia. Today is Sunday, the 31st of March 2025, the last day of March. And if you are indeed celebrating Mother's Day, wherever you may be today, a very, very happy Mother's Day to you. And feeling very rejuvenated and rested after the last fortnight or so of this mini international break. And lots to get into, Jose, I'm sure, today. I believe this is the 4th episode of Jose and Chang, and I cannot wait to get into today's show with you. Having said that, back to you, Jose.
So, I just want to confirm something, Chang. Is today not the 30th of March where you are? It's not Sunday still, isn't it?
Oh, sorry. Yes, it is the 30th, not the 31st. Hang on. And no, there isn't. Yeah, the 31st is tomorrow, Monday.
Yeah.
I apologize because I must have skipped ahead thinking that today is the. I was thinking that today is the Muslim holiday, or rather the Muslim New Year. And it has, in fact, been pushed back to tomorrow, the 31st of March. So tomorrow, Monday, would be the Muslim New Year of 2025, and today is still very much the 30th of March.
Yeah, because the only reason why I said it is because our clock. I was confused because our clocks went forward last night, or this. Our clocks went forward 7-8 hours ago, and so therefore I thought to myself, maybe I've got it wrong. When you said it's the Sunday the 31st March, I thought, okay, I might have got the hours wrong now. But anyway, we are here. That's the main thing. We're here. I think the first thing to say today, Chang, is the international break is over. What did you make of the international break? Anything that you made of it, or
it was mixed emotions, honestly, Jose, given the Spurs' involvement in the international break. If you have read the headlines or even the snippets over on the official social media channel, a lot of Spurs players were involved in goals in so many different competitions for their respective countries. Ben Davies got an assist and a goal. I think Pat Mertesacker himself got a goal and assist as well. Sonny got an assist for South Korea in their hunt for booking their spot in the World Cup of 2026. And Cuti Romero, I am going to save this for last, but Cuti Romero, yes, no doubt, Argentina beats Brazil very resoundingly by 4-1. But the highlight of that match wasn't even any of the goals. It was, in fact, the goal that Argentina conceded, all thanks to very loose, indecisive possession, being caught in possession, Cuti Romero, and that led to Brazil scoring their only goal. But nonetheless, congratulations to Argentina. They themselves, much like Japan, if I remember correctly, when I reported last Sunday during the 3rd episode, they now join Japan in next year's World Cup in the Americas, which is to say in America, Mexico, and Canada. So congratulations to you, Argentina, for qualifying for next year's World Cup. And yeah, I'm glad that international break is over, but I say this with bittersweet emotion because that sort of honeymoon period is over. Now that the international break is over, that honeymoon period is over, and we now face the grind of finishing this season with all these rumors saying that the board have already made their mind sacking Postecoglou, that they already have replacements lined up if and when they decide to pull the trigger on him. So it is going to be a mixed bag of emotions, but as a Spurs fan, I couldn't be happier with the end of this international break. And we have Chelsea coming up ahead. I believe it should be Thursday over there in the UK. It will, of course, already be being. It will be played on a Friday morning over here in Southeast Asia and also in Australia. But nonetheless, I'm sure we will do a bit of a preview for our midweek away league encounter at Stamford Bridge. But yeah, I am so over the moon that this mini international break is over, and I can't wait for the Europa League quarterfinals to get underway as well, Jose. Having said that, back to you, FA.
We'll have a show before that next week, hopefully.
Hopefully, yes, hopefully. Fingers crossed, Jose. Fingers crossed. Our 5th episode.
The other players that are Dane Scarlett scored again for the Elite Under-20s. This is old news last week. Mikey Moore, I believe, got an assist for the England Under-19s. Archie Gray played both games for the England Under-21s against France and Portugal. He came on a sub for the first game. He started the second game and was substituted because they made wholesale changes. You had Jamie Donnelly made his first full appearance for Northern Ireland in a friendly against Sweden, but none of our Swedes played in that game. Both Kulusevski and Bergvall. One didn't go and one was sent back home. So, and to be honest, I couldn't tell you much about the international break. I know Romero played against Uruguay. And he played against Brazil. He gave away the goal that Brazil scored. It was his fault. It was an error from him. But saying that, because no one's really, I don't know. I used to be interested in the international break when I was younger. However, all of a sudden, I'm not that interested in it anymore. And it's hard to keep up. I mean, life is life, and I just don't. In all honesty, I'm not really bothered. You hear things. I don't see them because I don't watch it. So you hear things and you see things, but I'm just hoping. I've not heard of any injuries. So yeah, I've not heard of any injuries from the international break. So I'm hoping that we have, that we are told that we have a full and fit squad to choose from on Thursday night. But yeah, the international break's over. Yippee, it's been a long. The reason why it's made longer, Chang, is because we're not in the FA Cup. And yesterday were the first games in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. So therefore, our break is longer than what it would have been. So I think it ends up being, instead of being 14 days or 13 or 14 days for us, it's actually 19 days break. So there's been a few posts Tottenham Hotspur have put out with regards to training during the international break, and you see people like Maddison, Van der Ven, Jed Spence, just to name a few. Bergvall was in there as well. I saw Bergvall. So you saw the players that haven't gone out there. You saw them in training. And I'm just hoping that with the training, especially Mickey van der Ven, with the training, I hope that he's fit and healthy, or healthier, and is able now to start a run of games for us rather than be bit piece. So yes, it's over. Moving on. There's been lots. There's been lots of reports and rumours, but they seem to gather pace. The reports and rumours seem to gather pace this week, the second week, rather than the first week. I'm going to start with the reports and rumours. And the first one I'm going to start with, Chang, is that's the first rumor I wanted to start with, because they're all interlinked and intertwined for me. But Fabio Paratici.
For me, Jose, it is imperative that we keep hold of him. It is absolutely vital and critical we keep hold of our chief architect of this rebuild. And I'm not sure how much this has to, or rather, I'm not sure exactly how this ties into Johan Lange staying, if he is staying beyond this season. But for me, I think Don Paratici has to play a very vital role now in ensuring the final stages of this rebuild, whether it's under Ange or under someone else, that remains to be seen. But he has to finish what he started, whether that means seeing the likes of Romero or Kulusevski or Bentancur, whether or not they stay beyond this summer. I think he may have a big say in that as well. Honestly, though, whatever Don Paratici does, I fully trust in the recruitment and also the scouting that he is actively involved in. And this will be a very interesting summer. I would call this the make or break summer for maybe the rest, or rather the remainder of this 2020s decade, whether we see us finally lift a trophy before the end of this decade, or are we going to have to wait a whole another 5 or 6 years to the next decade before maybe the likes of Bergval and Yang Min-hyuk and Pepe Matassar, Udogi, all of them, when they come of age and they are in their, I would say, their peak years. But nonetheless, lots and lots and lots of work for Paratici to do if he is indeed staying. And if it does, I would not hesitate to tie him down to a long-term contract. Now that I think his ban or his what do you call it, his suspension by the Italian FA has been served. So yeah, I am looking forward very much to Don Paratici staying. But more importantly, Jose, more than just him staying, him continuing on with his good work on bringing in talents, and not just young talent. I want fit and ready talents to walk into that first 11. I mean, don't get me wrong, he has struck gold with the and maybe Yang Min-hyuk and possibly even Odebier, or maybe even Tel if they do help us lift a trophy before the end of the season. But yeah, more than anything, we need more Romeros or Bentancurs, or even another Harry Kane replacement. Assuming Matthias Tel isn't that solution, we have lots of work to do, and that all stems from Paratici himself. Having said that, back to you, Jose.
Do you know what I've done, Chang? I've not bloody said hello in the chat. I'm saying hello with my comments. So you've got Peter Kagaius says hi, all 7:03 p.m. in Melbourne. I've said good morning to Peter, but I should have said good evening. Peter Kagaius says, what time is it there? So I told him what the time was then. Asked him whether their time changes in a few weeks, because it does, because it seems weird to see that we're now 12 hours behind time in Melbourne. I'm used to the 11. It's now 12 because our clocks. You got a good morning from the Toon side. Got a stonking hangover. Hope you're well, lads. So I've said good morning to Vindaloo, who says morning to you and morning to me. Shemtam is here. Shemtam says good morning, Mr. Bossman Jose. Oh, sorry, Mountain. I think MT is short for Mountain. Good morning, Mountain Bossman Jose, and the youngest looking old Mr. Chimachanga Chang. Hope you're both happy and healthy and enjoy your weekends. Good morning, Shemtam. And Norman Lamont says hi, guys, from Oz. So I said good morning to Shem and good evening to Norman. Sorry, going back to the banner. Fabio Paratici. Right. I have long said, so people can go back and check, and I've long said that when we took on Paratici, when Paratici was banned, and we took on Langer, I long said that it's going to be difficult for them both to work together because you've got one will be a consultant and one will be a full-time employee. And I didn't think both would mix. And I'm sure that they both haven't mixed, you know, behind the scenes, but not to the amount that they would disturb Tottenham's work. But I just don't think the chemistry mixes to have a consultant and a full-time employee. With that being said, I've always said that my favoured option was always going to be that when Fabio Paratici's ban came to an end, I was hoping that Tottenham would go back for Paratici, right? So Paratici's ban ends on the 25th of June this year. So you're talking a little less than 3 months now. It's a little less than 3 months, just under, because we're the 30th
Just under
of
3
March.
months, yes.
Yeah, just under, because we're the 30th of March. So give or take a few days, it's about 3 months away. So then we're hearing news that Paratici has gone to Milan or going to Milan. And then we hear the news that that Tottenham have made a bid for him and that the bid is substantial enough to make him stay and not go to Milan. The thing is, though, with Paratici, and I said this, so it's not just doing the bashing, I'm not bashing now, but I said this a long time ago. Paratici is not a Ange Postecoglou fan favourite, so to speak. Paratici plays different type of football and sees his manager being a different type of manager than Ange's. And so therefore, for me, from the outside looking in, and it's only an opinion, and I've had this for a long time, would be that you can't have Langer and Paratici. You can't have both. And for me, there's a Shem Tam's put something in there, and I was going to come and land on this. But for me, with Paratici, if Paratici comes back, then I don't see where the room is for Langer and Scott Munn. Because to me, Fabio Paratici would be as high up, or would be the nearest person to the board that you could get, as he was before he got his suspension. Sorry, so you've got Shemtam says, sorry, let me go back to Norman Lamont says, daylight saving ends in the East Coast on Oz on April the 1st, back 1 hour. So that'll be the day after tomorrow. So that'll be Tuesday, Norman. Shemtam says, why would the Don Fabio come when Levy still has Munn and Langer and their boy Ange? I'm sure he would only come if they weren't there. And good morning, Luke. I hope you're well, sir. It says good morning, guys, in the chat. Like I was saying to Shemtam, like I was saying, with Fabio Paratici, his way, if you brought him in, then he would be the equivalent for me that Scott Munn is. But on a footballing level, he wouldn't be on the spreadsheet level. He would be on a footballing level and equivalent to Scott Munn, is the way that I see it. And therefore, Scott Munn, for me, unless they found a different role for him altogether, I don't think Scott Munn has a role if Fabio Paratici comes back. This is just an opinion. And if Fabio Paratici comes back, then Fabio Paratici would, a lot of people said they'd bring Gabardini back as his replacement for Langer. And also, he would, there's been contrasting reports. Some people say that he is a firm favourite of, what's the Italian manager that he likes? Is it Inzaghi? Yeah, Inzaghi. He's a real
Inzaghi. Yep, Filippo Inzaghi.
Yeah, he's a big favourite of Inzaghi. And there's also been rumours that he is a favourite and would like to bring Xavi. They're the rumours. I mean, don't shoot me. These are the rumours. We're not talking what we know about. We're talking about rumours that we've seen. So, and with Paratici coming back, Chang, you've alluded to Paratici when he came, he started this revolution with the youngsters and the academy, and and stuff like that. And we know his work, his body of work of the players that came in under his tenure. Most of them have been hits. There's been some misses, but most of them have been hits. But yeah, if Paratici comes, the writing could be on the wall for Ange. I mean, Tottenham have made no, well, the rumours are there's no secret in the rumours from Tottenham to say that they're going to look at Ange's position at the end of the season. So it just ties in. If Fabio comes back, it doesn't look good for Ange Postecoglou.
I think, honestly, if I can just say something very quickly on this, Jose, right now, because a lot of this is just speculation and rumors, I think it's just best to leave and just to leave things be as it is to the end of the season. I think it could be a bit premature right now for even the board to consider a change in the management or even a change in the scouting, the way we conduct our scouting and recruitment. I would actually give Scott Munn maybe say the benefit of the rest of the season to see if there is anything else that he has lined up before then we officially unveil Paratici as a long-term scouting and a recruitment director or even a head hunter if it comes to that. But yeah, a lot of this is still speculation, and this is where I draw the line myself personally when it comes to rumors like this, in which unless there's something to substantiate or to even give any sort of backing to any of this hearsay, it's all just rumors at the most. So whatever it is, I think we still have to respect and we still have to regard both Munn and Langer in that role, the scouting and the recruitment. And until such time when the club does unveil Paratici, I would just treat it as nothing more than rumors. But yeah, going back to what I said earlier, I would very much like to have him. But then, how would this play into Big Ange leaving or going or staying? This also has to take its due course. And again, I'm also going to give Big Ange the benefit of the end of the season to see out this season. So yeah, until such time this is confirmed, I will just treat it as nothing more than rumors. But what a great addition Paratici would be, and how does this affect Langer and Munn? Only time will tell. Until such time, I'll just keep an eye on it, and we will be very keen. We will keep a very keen eye on the development of this. Having said that, back to you, Jose.
So Vindaloo is saying, personal, I think you're in the process of selling the club because Levy would have pulled the trigger on Ange by now, going on his recent record. Jimmy Hotspur, good morning, Jimmy. He says, Jimmy says, big up everyone, good morning now in British summertime. Does that mean the weather where you are, Jimmy's got all that much better because we've gained an hour or saved an hour or lost an hour? However you look at it, last night people would have lost an hour because it was their drinking time. So if people were out and about, they would have lost an hour. Luke says, I'm all good, mate. Thank you. Good to hear, mate. Good to hear. Watched your show the other night, your first show. Well done for starting the channel and getting up on board this YouTube journey, mate. Norman Lamont says, not looking good for my main man Ange, is it? These are only just thoughts because of what people have reporting at the moment everywhere. Personally, I think if Paratici comes in, he will make sure we have a proper structure in place, says Luke. Jimmy Oxford says, Fabio is a proper footballing person, negotiator. We very much need this sort at this broken club. Vindaloo says, Ange's tactics are making the team look bad. You shouldn't be where you are with your squad. You have, but being an Arsenal fan, long may it continue with all respect. Spotlight on Spot. Luke says there could be a couple of reasons why big changes haven't happened recently. One could be the takeover, and two could be there is a new director of football in Paratici. Good evening, Eugene. I hope you are well, sir. I hope you are well. And then Chang is saying, if you ever pass or drop by Kuala Lumpur during this Hari Raya 25 festival long weekend, I'm here, says Chang. I think with Chang, I know what you're saying, right? And again, if we don't talk about it, then there's not much to talk about. So this is just the rumours that are going around. So hence why we're talking about it. But doesn't it make sense? Because the season, footballing wise, the season finishes in May, mid-May, yeah? So the season's over, footballing terms, in mid-May. In a lot of contract terms, contracts finish on the 30th of June. Yeah? So majority of contracts that are done are all done to the 30th of June. The PSR, PFI, BBC, ITV, all that crap, 30th of June. Your books have to be done. So everything is the 30th of June, yeah? Paratici's ban finishes on the 25th of June. So therefore, when people say when they say that Tottenham will look at Ange at the end of the season, the end of June is the end of the season, because your new season begins on the 1st of July, because that's when all the pre-season happens again. So basically, new contracts and new terms begin from the 1st of July. So therefore, the timing is quite right in the sense of when the end of the season is, if they're going to look at Ange at the end of the season. The timing is quite right. If Paratici does come in after his ban finishes, then his contract will begin on the 1st of July. So it all ties in timing wise. And the thing is, at the end, whether we like it, we're going to come into, we'll talk about Ange in a second. But for me, if there's going to be casualties, I have to look at it this way. Who do I trust in growing my club? Do I trust Scott Munn and Langer, or am I trusting Fabio Paratici and whoever he brings in? Now, regardless of what's happened in the last 2 years with Ange, the minute that Fabio Paratici became a consultant, I felt we lost something at Tottenham. Yeah, I just felt that all that drive and energy and everything that we had through Fabio, I thought that drive and energy had gone, because you look at Fabio Paratici when he's at the games, he was always on the bench, he was always talking, directing, always on his phone, always busy, always doing things, right? You now look at Langer, when do you ever see him? You look at Scott Munn, when do you ever see him? When do these people ever talk? And, you know, if you're looking for someone that's passionate, when he's wore the blazer, the Tottenham blazer, he has shown more passion in the times that he's been seen than all these others put together. Outwardly passionate, you can see. So for me, you know, I'd love to see him back. I would love to see him back. Now, of course, if he comes back, there will be casualties. There's always going to be casualties, because Paratici is his own person. Paratici was the one that brought in Nuno. It was his call. Whether we believe that he was given enough time or not, Nuno came and went. And then Conte, he brought Conte in. Conte was his man. So, you know, at the end of the day, he's going to call it as he sees it. And as he sees it, if we're led to believe all the reports, as he sees it, Ange doesn't fit into what he wants. And if he is going to be that person that comes back to the club, then of course he's going to have to work alongside a manager that he wants and he can work with. And if Ange is not that man, then Ange won't be here. But the club will. The club will always be here. And at the end of the day, with all due respects to all fans and all supporters, right, I want the best for my club. And in my personal belief, for my club to go forward, I believe we need Fabio Paratici. And whatever comes with Fabio Paratici, I've got to go behind, because Paratici is the person I want at my club. So in saying that, Have you got any final things to say about Paratici before I move on to the next person?
I have nothing left to say on Paratici, but the rumors, or rather the links between Paratici and AC Milan, that is the one thing I want to talk about AC Milan, because if you remember, Jose, towards the end of the episode 3 I think it was last Sunday. Yeah, last Sunday, it was a few hours before the Legends game between Spurs Legends and AC Milan Legends. We might have a few minutes to talk about that, because that was quite the entertaining match. If you had seen the match, or if you had seen any of the highlights, I'm not going to spoil the fun just yet, but Novice, it was.
It's a week old. How can you spoil the fun?
I would say that to anyone who hasn't watched it, do watch it. If there is one playback this whole season, or if there's one full match in which you simply cannot afford to miss the entire 90 minutes of highlights, if you can even find it on YouTube, please do watch it. It is such a throwback to the Martinho and Harry Redknapp days, to the point where I'm just thinking in the back of my head, is Sandro still fit? Is Sandro still able to, lace up and don Lily White again? Or is Lennon still available to tear down that right wing? What a sight it was to behold, to see them in N17 and assisting and scoring again. So yeah, that was I was glad. I was so glad that I stayed up beyond 10 p.m. to watch that friendly between us Spurs Legends and AC Milan Legends. But even though we scored 6, the highlight, or rather the goal of the game, has to be that Pirlo free kick. I mean, that was a free kick that was worthy of winning any Champions League final, much like Bale's somersault goal against, I think it was it Loris Karius? I think it was Karius in Liverpool, in goal for Liverpool that night between Madrid and Liverpool. So yeah, that free kick by Pirlo, wow, just wow. So yeah, so that's it, Spalt. Jose, having said that, back to you, FA.
So moving on from Fabio Paratici, you've got a few people here. You've got Luke is agreeing. Jimmy H says Fabio won't have Ange anywhere near this club. He joins, in my opinion. We have good morning to Graham. Says good morning to Jose and Chang. Norman Lamont said, would Paratici be Ange's boss? Could they work together? Norman, when you have a director of football and a manager, they work together. So normally the director of football brings a manager or works with the manager that he wants. So like I said earlier, he chose Nuno Espirito Santo, and when he got dismissed, he chose Conte. So he chooses, he recruits the manager that he wants to work with, that's best aligned to what they want to do going forward, and the football that he likes playing, the style of players that he likes to bring in, formations and are totally different to what Ange plays. So therefore, Norman, he would, if Paratici came in, then he would select his own team, so to speak. And he would, when Paratici was here before, the only director of football that's ever put the don't know what word you want to say, put the whatever up his backside, leave his backside, was always Paratici. So Paratici, football-wise, Paratici's had the strongest hand on a footballing level at this club ever seen under Levy. So if he comes back, he will have that strong footballing hand again. And that's why I say that if Paratici comes back, there will be casualties. And the casualties will be, for me, Langer's definitely a casualty, and so's Ange. But quite possibly, unless you move Scott Munn along into, I don't know, to more spreadsheets and stuff like that, then I can't see Scott Munn being there either, because Scott Munn and Paratici, for me, would be doing more or less the same role. So, yeah. So that's where we are, Norman, I'm afraid, on it. You've got Luke's also agreeing with Jimmy. David Clark, I'm updating this as we speak at the moment, so I'm not sure who's done what. But he says he smashed the 300 mark. If you have done, well done, sir. Chang didn't play again this week, despite being advised. Did you, Chang? You didn't take part in predictions despite being told.
Unfortunately, no. Unfortunately, no. Too much to do just before the Muslim holiday, because this still is a Muslim country, Malaysia, and because I am non-Muslim, so this is like my way of making up for my Chinese New Year holiday, my Lunar New Year holiday 2 months ago, towards the end of January. Now I'm paying it back in full to the to the indigenous locals here. So yeah, it's been a very, very hectic last 72 hours, but I am very glad that I am going to get a full day's rest tomorrow on the first day of the Muslim New Year, and I cannot wait to round up tonight's FA Cup quarterfinals. I think is Bournemouth playing City? Yeah, I think Bournemouth is playing City later on tonight. So I'm looking forward to that, having seen Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest book their place respectively in the semi-finals late last night. Having said that, back to you, Jose.
Can I just say that I've just done the points, and yeah, you've gone past the 300. I've just done yours just now. David Clark says Sandra was man of the match in the veterans game. Sandra, I think you meant Sandra. He ran the show. When he went off, England went to pieces until Sandro came back on. Dawson played well also. Sandro, this American phone is rubbish, says David Clark. Norman says, if that's the case, we don't need a manager at all, just coaches. No, he brings his own manager in. Like I said, he's brought his managers in the past. Norman, this happens at every football club. Every football club will have a director of football and a manager that are aligned and that work together and that have the same thought process, same philosophy, same way of playing football. So both have to align. And that's what he's done with the previous managers that he's employed at whatever club he's been at. If he comes back, he will do the same again. It's no different at any other club. What we're talking about now happens at every single club. So, anyway, moving on. The next one is obviously going to be Ange that we're going to talk about. Lee Wiz says, big up Jose in chat. Hope you don't mind me listening in. Hope you're well. Good morning, the Wiz. I hope you're well, sir. And David Clark says, I want Spurs ladies coach sacked before Ange. This man is useless. So yeah, Ange Postecoglou. We're on to Ange. What are your thoughts on Ange?
Okay, so my thoughts on Ange. Well, everything that I thought would come to pass a fortnight ago when we lost to Fulham, it was pretty much scripted, really. The way the fans turned on him, or not turned on him, the way they directed their frustrations and their anger. I mean, some of the clips that made it into social media, the spat between Ange and the fans, and even some of the players as well when they got involved, that was ugly to see. And this is why I really cannot stress enough, Jose, why towards the end of, I think it was episode number 2, just before you played Fulham, when I asked, or rather I begged for the fans to be patient with Ange, seeing how we had just only booked our place in the quarterfinals of the Europa League mere days ago. And here we are again, losing in another London derby, and losing by more than a single goal margin this time around. And I just fear the worst for Ange this coming midweek against Chelsea if things don't go our way. Even though we may just lose by another narrow single goal margin, whether it's through a penalty, a set piece, a corner, whatever it is, the fans' patience with him is wearing thin, and with that, the rumors will come, much like a carrion or vultures encircling a corpse. I think the media has had a field day, or rather a lengthy run at him during this international break. We hear the likes of Marco Silva, Filippo Inzaghi, as we mentioned earlier, when we're talking about Paratici and a few other managers who are lined up to take over if and when the board does decide to give him the sack. But otherwise, until then, Jose, until then, this is why I keep stressing that all this right now is besides the point. Big Ange still has a season to see out. He still has a quarterfinals in the Europa League to get over with, and maybe, just maybe, towards the final few weeks of this season, whether it's the end of April or even the beginning of May, when everything is pretty much done and dusted, by then we will then know how our season's going to turn up and whether or not Big Ange has earned any sort of merit to see him prolong his Spurs career beyond this season. I think that's when we'll know for sure. Until then, I can only say that so long as he's in the hot seat, I'm fully behind him, regardless of our form, regardless of recent results, even regardless of how far we qualify into this season's Europa League. I'm still fully behind him. And I think it's a bit disrespectful to even consider, sacking him right now after everything he's done for us in the past year and a half, coming to 2 years now. We still have, or rather we had a League Cup semi-final that we were able to win one leg, but unfortunately wasn't able to get past Liverpool in the second leg. And then we saw Liverpool themselves get beaten, worthy winners Newcastle. And we also have the upcoming 2 legs of the quarterfinals against Eintracht Frankfurt to contemplate. So yeah, still lots of work to be done by Big Ange, and until such time where his replacement is officially unveiled to succeed him, I'm still fully behind Jose. Having said that, back to you, FA.
Nigel's here, says big up Jose and Chang, big up chat. Good morning to you, Nigel. You obviously didn't get much sleep, mate, because you was on last night when I went to bed, and you're up early this morning. But well done, you. Thanks for having me on yesterday, Nigel. It was good to talk anything other than football, which is what we did last night. Even though I did it for a short time, you've done a sterling job as a host, mate. Jimmy Oxford, so who has improved in nearly 2 years? Answer: nobody, in my opinion. Get him gone now before the Europa ties. David Clark says, Ange lost my faith in him during last season's Chelsea game. At the time, I thought that he just had a one-off brain fart, but since I've realised that this man is not up to the job. And then we've got Vindaloo saying, playing attack football with Chelsea last season with 9 men, I knew this guy would be very special. For me, with Ange, I still support Ange. Ange is the manager of my club, and so therefore I'm behind the manager. I'm behind the team. I've been behind every single manager, even those that I believe that were not as good as Ange. I still supported them. So I can go back and say I supported Christian Gross. I supported Jack Santini. I supported Jerry Francis. I can go, the list goes that I supported managers that I feel that Ange is better than. But, at the end of the day, he's our manager. So I support him and I support the team. And if there are changes, then I will support the change as well. Whether we like things or not, I will support the change if there is going to be change at Tottenham. The same as when Ange came in, I supported him. I supported Conte till he left. But you support everyone. If you're a fan of the team, you support the team through thick and thin. And I keep repeating this to people. I've seen us go down. I've seen us relegated under Keith. And then we came back with Keith. And then 3 years later, we won the FA Cup. 7 years later, we won the UEFA Cup. So at the end of the day, you've got to support your team through thick and thin. So, yeah, with Ange, there's rumours with him. The rumours that have been with Ange is that he is going to be looked at the end of the season, which is right in the sense that it doesn't matter what club you're at. Everybody should be doing a lessons learned, or everyone should be doing a review of the season at the end of every season. Tottenham aren't the only club. Every club should do this. It's the same as a business. At the end of a year cycle, you have to review what you've achieved in the past year. So, you know, people saying that they will review everything at the end of the season, that's just natural. It's natural in the world of work, whether it doesn't matter what walk of life you work in. It's always natural to review at the end of your year. And the end of the year for all football clubs is the 30th of June, which is what I keep saying, you know, all the time. So it's not beating up on Ange, because we're not here to do that. But if they're saying that they'll review at the end of the season, it's because everyone reviews at the end of the season. So, you know, they will look at that. It's a very divisive subject, because you've got people coming in. You've got Mark says, good morning. Why are you talking about that for? Mark, good morning to you. It was nice to share a screen with you yesterday as well. You're another one that's done well to be up early this morning, I think. I'm not saying you had too much last night, but, you know, unless you're well seasoned to it. But no, it was nice to share a screen with you yesterday and talk anything other than football. So well done you, sir. Bigby Wolf, last season's Chelsea game, we only got one defender on the bench, and that was Dyer. Who will he bring on when both defenders gone with 9 man? You want to play a low block. What a joke. Tigaro. Evening, Jose, Mr. Chang, and all in the chat. Hope everyone is happy and well. Good evening to you. It's my good morning, but good evening to you, sir. David Clark says you should never sack a coach mid-season unless there is a possibility of getting relegated. We then have Luke. Luke says, I don't like the options that are being reported, but if they come in, I will, of course, back them and give them the chance to prove me wrong. David Clark says, I still say Villas-Boas was a top coach. He still has the best win record amongst Spurs' modern-day coaches. Played great football, but again, Levy didn't back him in the transfer market, which seems to be a recurring theme. If you listen to people, they say it's a recurring theme about him not backing anyone, about Levy not backing managers. And you've got Vindaloo says, catch you later, people. Have a good show, lads. Yeah, take care of yourself, Vindaloo, and I hope that your hangover passes by, or that we've helped it pass by. Moving on, next person, Cristian Romero. There has been rumours on Cristian Romero. They all stem to be in the same city, but they are rumours nonetheless. What are your thoughts on the rumours about Cristian Romero, Chang?
Honestly, Jose, much like Big Ange, I'm not going to be losing any sleep, and neither am I going to shed a tear if this is another, of our Spurs alumni to go this summer. And again, this is why I urge, or rather, this is why I'm very cautious on our so-called, world-class players. And don't get me wrong. I mean, if someone like Messi can come out and say that Cristian Romero is world-class, or he's one of the better, if not the best defenders he's ever played with in his footballing career, then who am I to argue with Messi? But again, I have to bring up that that howler in midweek, when Argentina beat Brazil by 4-1, and I think, I'm not sure if this is an influence from Big Ange, or if this is his own lapse of concentration, or if it's just a bad day in the office. But if Romero stays, I will be very happy. If he goes, then I'm sure there will be ample candidates to fill his boots, whether that means more game time for Kevin Danso, if he's going to be the new centre back partner of Van der Ven, or will Romero's departure cause a sort of domino effect and trigger a lot more exits if Big Ange is to follow suit? right now, again, this is all just rumors, Jose. And as long as Romero is still donning lily white, I'm fully behind him. I mean, he is our vice captain, or one of the one of the players in our captaincy, in our leadership group. So yeah, who's to say that he himself wouldn't be helping Sonny lift the Europa League come the end of the season? Until such time, again, until such time as when he himself has made it official that he will be packing his bags and say maybe going over to Spain and playing in the La Liga. Until such time, I'm still fully behind him. He will still be my vice captain or even my captain of the day if he does take over the captain armband from Son. If Son himself does leave at the end of this season. But yeah, all this is just rumors, Jose. But if he does go, I wish him all the best. If he stays, then I will be happy that we have a World Cup winner, a bona fide World Cup winner too, at that, still in our books. And I honestly believe that he has a lot of experience to pass on to, whether it's to Vuskovic, who is even yet to put on lily white. If Vuskovic does join in the summer, or was it next summer? I can't remember now. But if Vuskovic does join when he's still around, then yes, I can see him benefiting a lot from Romero's experience. But yeah, again, all of this is still rumors, Jose. I am still 100% behind Romero. But yeah, he does need to pull up and really, really, really make amends this coming midweek against Chelsea, because I think that's where everything, everything, everything since the first 10 wins last season, everything just went downhill the moment he got sent off against our same opponents. I think it was at home when we lost. Was it by 5 goals to 2? It was, yeah, when we lost that crazy game when we ended the game with 9 men. It all stemmed from that loss, and let's hope then he can help us shore up the defense on Thursday night. Because if not, then he himself would have played a helping hand, or he will have played a part in Big Angel's sacking if he doesn't prove his worth, Jose. Having said that, back to you, FA.
Right, you've got. Let's see. So when we're talking about this, we have got. Tigara says Atletico bound for sure. Nita says, good morning, just listening. It's good to listen sometimes. Come on, you Spurs. Good morning, Nita. Happy Mother's Day to you. I said this at the start of the show, but happy Mother's Day to all mothers here in England, as Mother's Day is celebrated at different times of the year in different countries. But here in England, it is today. So happy Mother's Day to all you women out there today. And if you have got a mother, you're still fortunate enough to have a mother, although you should be loving them and looking after them and being with them every day, because mums are there for life, not just for one day. But regardless of that, that extra little bit of love, that extra little bit of care, make sure you show your mums today, because they are important people. Lee Wiz says, has the clocks changed and confused anybody else? I'm well impressed. It means the off license is open an hour earlier than I expected. Result. Jimmy Hotspur says, sell Romero and bring in Brathwaite. That would be sensible, in my opinion, says Jimmy H. Norman Lamont says, sell Kuti and bring in Vuskovic, maybe Phillips, buy a Danso and a left centre back. I'm not sure. I don't even think we've bought Danso yet. I thought Danso had come on loan. Has he? I can't remember. I think Danso's come on loan.
I honestly believe that what he meant is that we make Kevin Danso's loan permanent, Jose. That's why he says.
I'm not reading. No, I wasn't going by what I read. I'm thinking myself, Danso was a loan rather than a buy. So that's something to look at in the summer anyway. David Clark says, in my opinion of Romero, is that if he plays alongside top defenders who he trusts, then I think he could be consistently top centre back. But sorry, under the system, it exposes his weaknesses. Big B says that Vuskovic can play left centre back. Nita says, preparing for my ankle biters visiting today. decibels on high level fun time, and I love it. Happy Mother's Day to all mums. Yes, Nita. Good morning, Chris. Agambar says, good morning, Jose and Chang. Good morning, Chris. I hope you're well, sir. David Clark says, Vuskovic is going to walk straight into the Spurs first 11, whoever the coach is. Ronnie is saying, hello, Jose, Mr. Chang. Good morning, Ronnie. Ronnie, you done well this week. I haven't got to your scores yet, but I know you've done well. All reports are saying that we would want 100 million for Romero from the Madrid clubs. Romero go or stay, all depends on him, but Levy will accept the 100 million bid. Another players player gonna win trophies after leaving Tottenham, and Jimmy's just confirming, yeah, that Danso is currently alone. Right. So for me, with Christian Romero, the one thing I will say, right, is that Atletico Madrid cannot afford to buy Christian Romero. If you think Atletico Madrid have got a oneer, so 3-figure sum to lay down on a defender, I don't believe Atletico Madrid have. I don't know the last time. I think the last time Atletico Madrid spent big money. This is just, I don't do researching, and now this is just my thoughts. I think the last time they spent big money, with 3 figures at that, or near enough 3 figures, was on João Felix. And João Felix, I don't know, was he on loan at Chelsea? And then Chelsea loaned him out there again. I don't even know whether they bought João Felix from Atletico Madrid, but that was the last time that Atletico Madrid spent 3 figures. When they bought in Alvarez, they didn't spend nowhere near 3 figures. They got Alvarez in, I don't know, about 40-odd million or something like that. They didn't spend nowhere near 3 figures on Alvarez. When they brought in the boy from Chelsea that was supposedly Ange wanted, Conor Gallagher, they didn't spend much money on Conor Gallagher either. So if people think that Atletico Madrid, if we're saying it's 100 million is what, because you've got to have a selling club has got to have a value on a player. What is the value to us to sell that player? And if the club say it's 100 million, then you've got to stump up 100 million. And I just don't think Atletico Madrid have got that kind of money. I don't think Atletico Madrid have even got 80 million to stump up on a player. So for me, the news about Atletico Madrid kind of throws me. Now, with Real, Real for me, although I'm Spanish as well, and my team, I support my local team, which is Deportivo La Coruña, who are in the 2nd division now, but I still support them. I supported them when we was in the 3rd division recently as well. But yeah, for me, I support my local team, and I don't support none of the big 2, like Real or Barca, like others do in Spain. And for Real, for me, Real it stinks, because Real can be in debt by the tune of millions to billions, and they get bailed out. They always get bailed out. So I can't put nothing past Real Madrid. I mean, Real Madrid spent 100 million near enough on Ronaldo. They spent nearly 100 million on Bale. After that, though, from all their big money signings, they haven't spent 100 million. Vinny Jr. didn't cost them 100. Bellingham didn't cost them 100. So they haven't spent this big money on other players. They were the 2 closest to 100 million that they spent. So therefore,
do you know how much they spent on Mbappe? Do you have any idea how much they spent on Mbappe, Jose?
Mbappe was a free. He was a free. I mean, I'm not going to talk wages and the deals like that. I'm just talking a transfer fee. On a transfer fee, the 2 players that come near to the 100 were Bale and Ronaldo. Other than that, the rest of the players they bought have been nowhere near the mark of the money they spent on Bale and Ronaldo. So therefore, for me, but by saying that with Real Madrid always get bailed out. And so Real Madrid, for some reason, they can always find the money because somebody has helped them. So a destination could be Real Madrid. Whether Real Madrid, but the thing is, that's the case. I read the Spanish press, so La Marca, AS, the big publications out there. And what I will say with them is that they're not far wrong, because one of them is driven by Madrid, one of them is driven by Barcelona. So La Marca is all pro Real Madrid, and AS is all pro Barcelona. Although they cover all sports, all football and all sports, they're quite good in whatever they say tends to be 99.9% accurate. And I don't recall reading anywhere that Real Madrid are all out for Christian Romero. I think that's a lot of this is to do with social media, because if I believe social media, then Real Madrid are also signing Pedro Porro, because it was put out there that Pedro Porro is Madrid are after him. But if Madrid have just signed TTA from Liverpool, why would they be after Porro? So anyway, at the end of the day, the likely destination, if Christian Romero is to leave Tottenham, and you have to match the fee that Tottenham want to sell him for, then I fear that Atletico Madrid may not be the destination, and the likelier destination in Madrid would be Real. But again, at the end of the day, some people will turn around and say, like they have done, another player leaves Tottenham for, we get big money for him and we'll go on to win trophies. My concern, though, is when we sell players for a lot of money, Chang, do we reinvest in the players? Has always been my concern. So with Gareth Bale, they brought in the Magic 7. With Harry Kane's money, we didn't sign anybody till the season after. So when we sell players for big money, do you reinvest in the team? And I don't believe that at Tottenham we reinvest in the team. Not wisely anyway. So if you've got a player that's leaving like Harry Kane, there's no one like Harry Kane. All right, let me start by saying that now. But you try to reinvest with someone who's going to be of a similar ilk, or someone that's going to get you the amount of goals that he got. When you sell someone like Christian Romero, then you need to bring in a defender of a similar ilk. Unless you've got one there already, that is. You bring someone in a similar ilk. When Gareth Bale went, there is no Gareth Bale. We bought 7 players, but there was none of them with Gareth Bale. So my fear is always that when we sell players, that we're not going to bring players in, because everyone says, yeah, but we can sell him, and him. But then who are you bringing in? Because if you sell Christian Romero, let's say the only sale we did this season was Christian Romero, right? I felt that we were light by 5 players in the squad in the summer. So for me, if you sell Christian Romero, you need to buy 6 players. 1 for Romero and 5 of the others that we need cover for that we didn't splurge back in the summer. So for me, it doesn't all really add up. You got Chris Agenbar says, Danso on initial loan with an obligation to buy for 25 million euros, so 20.9. Norman says, Dragosin will be back next season. Danso, VDV, Dragosin, Vuskovic and Fuchs is enough for centre-back. I cannot wait to see Vuskovic in a Spurs shirt. Yeah, I can't either. I mean, you can look at the show reels of this chap, and they all look... I mean, there's a lot of people saying that he's not blessed with pace, but when you have people comparing, because he's Croatian, isn't he? And when you have the people comparing him to Gvardiol, who everyone was raving about Gvardiol, they all say that at the same age, because obviously Gvardiol's a bit older now, Gvardiol's 22 or whatever, where Vuskovic is 17, but they're saying that when Vuskovic was 16, he's deemed to be a far better player at 16 than what Gvardiol was. He's deemed to be a far better player at 17 than what Gvardiol was at that age. Now, if they're comparing him to Gvardiol and saying that he's a better player than Gvardiol, and this is a lot of professional experts saying this, then I can't wait to see the chap play. I haven't seen any of the reels. I've seen a couple of goals he scored. I've not seen none of the reels, but yeah, he will be with us. So he could have come to us in February this season, but Tottenham decided to leave him on loan. So basically, with that being said, it's up to us. He comes to us in the summer from his loan, and it's up to Tottenham to decide, or whoever the manager may be, to decide what the next steps are for Vuskovic. Jimmy Oxford says Romero's value will be circa 60 million in his opinion. Norman Lamont says Real are the only Euro club that can afford Kuti. Big B says Mbappe's signing on fee was 150 million. I'm not doubting the signing on fee, Big B, but we're just talking about what the actual transfer fee is. As I said, we're not talking contracts, signing on fees. It's about the transfer fee, because that's what we're looking at. And with the transfer fee, Madrid have only ever come near the 3 figures with Ronaldo and Bale. because there was always an argument. Ronaldo was always saying, yeah, but I was worth 100 million. The Bale deal was actually something like, it's been reported, the Bale deal was something like 85.4 million, and that he beat Ronaldo, but Ronaldo didn't like the fact that Bale would cost more. So I think that there was a bit of jiggery pokery done. So the reporting was that Ronaldo was bought for slightly more than Bale. Jimmy Hotspur says Real Madrid's new policy is to get quality players in for free, and Mbappe TAA will also join this summer, in my opinion. Drula, look at that. Good morning, Jose Chang and the Cockerel crew. Happy Mother's Day to you, Drula. I hope you're being spoilt by those who love you and hold you dearest. Shemtan says, Vuskovic, I can't judge until he comes and plays in the Prem. So moving on from Christian Romero, the next person that I saw, or that's been in the news this week, is Matthias Tel. So, have you seen the news on Matthias Tel?
I unfortunately haven't, Jose, but I have seen the goal involvements for Tel in the, I think it's the French under 21s, is it, that he was involved in? And it was not only him, it was Odebeer as well. So Tel and Odebeer, well done to them in their, international duties for France. But yeah, please do tell, Jose, what is the breaking news on Matthias Tel?
It's not breaking news per se, but they're now saying that Bayern Munich want to recall him.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. So that is news. So this is why we shouldn't just dismiss these sort of youngsters if they don't find themselves, on the score sheet, or if they are unable to chalk up an assist or two every now and then, because you never know. You never know if any of these players, it could be a Min Hyuk, it could be a Alejo Valise, it could be Odebeer, it could be Tel, any one of them. They could be late bloomers, to put it in, very mildly. So, I mean, we should just be thankful that they are even playing for us, because we all know that Tottenham Hotspur isn't exactly the most sought after destination in European, let alone British football. So if they're still, joining our colours, I will support each and every single one of them. I couldn't care less if you're a Ben Davis or let's see now, it could even be Fraser Foster. Any one of these players, you don't really white, I fully back you. I fully support whatever you do on and off the pitch, unless it's something that brings disrepute to the club, in which then I would distance myself from you. But yeah, for Matthias Tel, I mean, whatever happens to him beyond this summer, I still am looking forward to him contributing to us, or rather to our season. Unlike, say, maybe Richarlison, who I think is all but on his way out now that he's pretty much ruled out for the rest of this season. And yeah, as for Tel, well, let's just wait and see how the remainder of the season develops for him, because you never know. You never know when he might just score that crucial goal or provide that crucial assist for us that finally helps break that trophy drought. And I could even say the same for Timo Werner himself, even though Timo Werner is also pretty much on his way out, and I think, is he ruled out for the rest of the season? I'm not sure on Timo Werner, but yeah, for Matthias Tel, all the very best to him if he does get recalled by Bayern Munich, and if he does prolong his stay in N17. Well, we still have a player on our hands, and one that has yet to even show what he's capable of, Jose. And having said that, yeah, let's just be thankful that he's still on our books, and I am looking forward to him hopefully getting a goal or two, or even an assist or two against Chelsea come Thursday night. Having said that, back to you, FA.
What we got here then? We've got I read Mr. Levy has stated that Atletico Madrid, he is not entertaining anything below 100 million for Romero. You've got Jimmy Hotspur says Tel has shown nothing so far for Spurs, maybe down to the manager, but send him back nonetheless and look elsewhere with the money. And Archer is here, says, morning all. Good morning, Archer. I hope you're well, sir. For me, Matthias Tel, right, divides opinion. I believe that Matthias Tel, this is my belief, my opinion, I believe Matthias Tel is a good player. I've said it all along that he's a good player. For me, Matthias Tel is a wide left forward. So he plays out on the left and he cuts in, but he's a wide left forward. He's not a winger. He's a wide left forward. Could you convert him to play? I think at this present moment in time, at his age at the moment and in the Premiership, you can probably convert him into a winger more than a centre forward at the moment. However, he does have the attributes further down the line, once he learns more of the game, to be a centre forward. So the goals that he scored for France under 21s, Chang, I believe, were down the middle. They weren't from cutting in from out wide. One of them might have been, and one of them might have been. The second one might have been down the middle. But I believe that he is a good player, and I believe that he can provide. He can carve out a good career for Tottenham going forward in the future. The conundrum you've got is the way that Levy weighs this one up is that the money that they owe, the Bayern owe for Kane still, the money that's outstanding, although Kane left 2 years ago, it's all amortized. So the money that's still outstanding would offset majority of what Tel would be worth to buy him. But there are some people out there that turn around and say that with the money that you would spend on Tel, there might be better options out there for cheaper. So people are already looking for better options for cheaper. So, you know, we've got half the crowd saying we don't spend enough money, and then people are saying there could be better options out there cheaper. To me, the way that I look at it is that there's going to be a big decision with Sonny at the end of the season again. If you want to make money on Sonny, right, this is the last opportunity you have because he has a year left on his contract. So if you want to make money on Sonny, the time's to sell him now. So and if Sonny was to move on, who is your left-hand side player? And that's what you've got to decide. Is it that you need to spend money on bringing Matthias Tel in because you may release Sonny, or are they going to give Mikey Moore that berth? Because Mikey Moore has dropped off the radar. He's not around. He's not been in squads and stuff. So I'm not saying he's staying, Ronnie, or he's going. I'm saying if you're going to claw money back or get some money back on Sonny, this is the last chance that Tottenham got to do it because he's only got a year left on his contract. So with Matthias Tel, it divides opinion. I believe he's a good player, but is that money well spent, or can you spend less money? Is like that people are looking at now for a different player to play them in that position. So that's something to be looked at. You have got. Ronnie says I had high hopes for Tel, but what I've seen so far has been underwhelming, says Ronnie. Julia says we was given Tel because Bayern still asked money for Kane. And Jin, good morning to you, says they have energetic wide players. Okay. At Spurs, they got Johnson and Son. Julia says that Tel looked good for France under 21s. France got Ekitike and Odebert. Just move on, Son. You will be much better. Drula says, I've got a feeling we're getting Grealish. Big B says, what if Kane won Ballon d'Or? I bet Levy put in a clause, if Kane won it, he'll receive more money. Son is 100% staying for Ronnie. And In says, the guy does not create space, does not stretch defences. Son, low IQ. I don't agree. Son is not low IQ player. Son has been top level game player for a decade. He's not. Son is 100% bench, says Anjin. So yeah, so with Matthias Tel, they are my thoughts on Matthias Tel. And last but not least, Chang. There you go.
Okay. I'll just get this over with as quick as possible, much like ripping off a band-aid, Jose. I think this goes back to what I said towards the end of episode 2, when I so badly wanted us to bounce back from those back-to-back defeats to City and to, let me see now, was it? Yeah, it was, oh my goodness, who were our opponents? Who were the last opponents in the Europa League? Was it? I can't even remember who are our opponents in Europa League last 16. But yeah,
RZ.
Thank you so much, FA. Yeah, Alkmaar. Oh, I just want us to stop the rot here. Although it's not really a rot, I just want us to bounce back from that disappointing defeat to Fulham. Although I honestly thought that it wasn't that bad a defeat at all, because it was that defeat came from Odebeer being caught in possession. I think it was in the 76th or the 77th minute. And then we compounded that by allowing Ryan Sessegnon, of all players, to sneak up behind Ben Davies and outmuscle him for Fulham to score their second. So against Chelsea, I just want us to put in an effort, even if it means losing again in yet another London derby, back-to-back London derby defeats. I am still fully backing Big Ange to turn it around. Next weekend, I think it's a home league encounter before we then hit into
Southampton's next
correct
Sunday.
Southampton. Yep, Southampton. Thank you, Jose. So yeah, I still am fully backing Big Ange, even if he does lose against Chelsea. But the pressure and also the rumors, as well as the the social media outcry for his sacking, will be in full tilt to almost a fever pitch, I feel, if we do lose against Chelsea, because they might even consider having Ryan Mason take charge of us against Frankfurt next midweek. So let's just hope, let's really do hope that we turn it around against Chelsea. And it's not just Big Ange, it's the players themselves as well. And this is why I had to say this about Romero earlier, that he has to pull up his socks. He has to make amends for where it all went wrong for him and us and Big Ange last season in that that 5-2 defeat to Chelsea, where we went down to 9 men. And more than anything, Jose, I just want us to show some fight, show some backbone, show some desire, and more than anything, show some impetus to actually end the season on the high. And I honestly feel that Chelsea away would be a good prep for us for Frankfurt away as well, the following midweek when we travel to Germany. So yes, I really am hoping that we bounce back, and I am looking forward very much to this match. Although I think the result is almost a foregone conclusion at this point, given our recent form away at Stamford Bridge, and I'm not expecting miracles, Jose. I really am not. The best I can hope for is a draw. I honestly feel that anything more than a draw this coming midweek would be miraculous, given the way we've been playing, given the way our away form has been. But I've seen stranger things happen, and you need only look at the way we beat City so convincingly by 4-0 away at the Etihad earlier this season to know that maybe not all is set in stone. Not everything is a foregone conclusion, but yeah, it's not looking good for Big Ange and our players. So the best I can hope for now is for them to really put on a show and show us why we should have something optimistic to look forward to next Sunday against Southampton, as well as the home and away Europa's quarterfinal ties against Frankfurt. Having said that, back to you, FA.
So what we've got Taigaro says, Sonny's worth 100 times more commercially than his ability at this point. He will stay until they can build Min Hyuk into a star, hopefully. Are you aware, Chang, that he scored his first goal in England yesterday, Min Hyuk? Have you seen the goal?
I've not seen the goal, but yes, I think he has scored for Queen's Park Rangers. I am overjoyed for him, and I really do hope that won't be the first and last of his goal-scoring exploits for QPR. And this is why I think youngsters. I mean, there has to be some sort of talent, some sort of raw. Undeveloped potential for all these starters that we're signing in, that actually makes them worth even having a look at. And who's to say that Yang Min Hyuk won't turn into yet another Sonny in a few years' time. So let's just wait and see how Yang Min Hyuk develops. But yeah, I was overjoyed for him to have scored for QPR, and I will be looking up his highlights at the end of the show when I have my dinner in about, say, 10 minutes from now, at about 10:30. So yeah, overjoyed for him, and let's just wait and see how he develops with QPR and if he will be part of our senior squad come next season. Having said that, back to you, Jose.
Yeah, he scored a wonderful goal yesterday. It was in a defeat. They were 3-0 down by the time he scored the goal, but he scored a goal from the edge of the box. It's quite a nice goal. I think he scored with his left foot. So, but yeah, well worth a look. Big B says our team midfield not working with which engine of any system. I think next summer we're going to look for midfield heavily if Ange stays. Couldn't agree more. I think we need to look at midfielders, but I also think we need to look at forwards and left side of defence. And in any wide player that can only thrive in counter-attacking play styles have low IQ. Big B Wolf says Chelsea lose.
Shut off the tablets. I'm to charge at home.
Chelsea lose to under 21s 3-0. We are next. Jimmy Oxford says, oh my God, defeat number 16 in the Premier League. Coming, our record there is shocking. Drew says, Jimmy, I get that we're being a bit harsh judging a player who's just come into a completely different league, coach, players, and country. And Jin says, Odeberg needs players to cover when he's moving, so if he does lose, you can sweep up. Norman says, Sol Johnson can't dribble, head, cross, press, or take on. Norman's not holding back, is he, this evening? And Jin, the problem with the players is everyone is ball watching and nobody's concentrating. Drula says Palmer and Madueke are back training, ready to face us. When we're beating Chelsea until Basuma give away the pen, says Anjin. Graham has been and gone, says, have a great day, Mr. Chang. I need to go and see my mum. Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the mums here in England, because it's been celebrated today. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Angie says, and son had a chance to equalise but spooned it. Roddy says, let's hope our season ends on Wednesday the 21st of May 2025 final. And Jin says Solanke has missed the most big chances with 10 next to is Johnson with 8 Son, 6 Kulu and Madison 5, Sarr 4, Romero 1 and Richie 2. Which why doesn't anyone talk about the attacking players' chances missed? And Aussie Ange Hater says, big up lads, and it's Bella. Bella, you've changed your name. Good evening to you, Bella. I hope you are well. Nice to see you. But better late than never, because we were just about to wrap up soon. But better late than never, because Chan's got his dinner on. Colin Blackshaw says, morning, Jose and Chang. So, Chang, what's the time for you now? Then, just like a curiosity, it's nearly 10:30 for me. What's the time for you?
It's almost 5:30 p.m. So yes,
okay.
The clocks have indeed gone back. So
you're 7 rather than 8 now. Yeah.
Yeah. So looking ahead, Jose, this is actually quite a good time slot for you, somewhere 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. for us to continue doing these shows on a Sunday. And yeah, if you do need to change every so often, depending on your shows or your commitments on YouTube, I'm more than willing to accommodate you, just so long as it doesn't stray too close to midnight, because that's when I have to put both my daughters to bed or even take them out for dinner. But otherwise, I so am looking forward to each and every single episode that we have between us now until the end of the season, and maybe beyond this season. Who knows? If everything goes well, I would very much like to carry this on, because it's been so very long, Jose, since I did anything, for more than a single show. This goes back to when I was still doing A View from Asia with Miss Ash around the same time on Wednesdays. So yeah, absolutely loving and enjoying this Sunday morning chats between us both before our match day. And I really do am hoping that we will have something positive to be talking between us next Sunday. Hopefully, Big Ange will still be in the job and be able to lead the team out against Southampton next Sunday. But otherwise, come on, you Spurs, and up the lads. Having said that, back to you, FA.
Right, so we've got Colin Blackshaw said good morning to Colin. Nita says our academy is doing well. There have been a few signings this week. There are good players right there, says Nita. And Jin says, oh yeah, and VDV went off. Don't care if Romero goes or more of a liability defensively. Jimmy Hotspur, thanks guys. Got to walk the dogs now. Have a great weekend. Jimmy, take care. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for the results show. And yeah, so tomorrow, guys, just to let you know, tomorrow's the results show. It's at 4 o'clock for the predictions that we did this week. And on Tuesday at 4 o'clock, we will do the midweek predictions for game week 30. And on Friday, it will be a quick update on the scores for week 30 and then week 31 predictions for next weekend. So quite a busy show for Friday. Andy says, why do people rate defenders on the ball ability? The primary job is to defend. Because everyone gets looked at. Right, Chelsea for me, just to finish the show off, Chelsea for me is the biggest game of the season. It always has been for me. For people that know my backstory, I grew up in the Chelsea area and I took so much stick because obviously growing up in the Chelsea area, there wouldn't be many Tottenham fans. So I used to get absolutely roasted because our record at Chelsea was absolutely abysmal. I spent about 25 years of my life minimum where we kept losing against Chelsea and we didn't record victories against them at all. And if we did, they were far and few between. And I used to get roasted by them all the time. So therefore, my affinity with dislike for clubs rests more with Chelsea than what it does with our neighbours who wear red. So for me, this is the biggest game. We go into this game on a defeat, as we have done for the last few years in international breaks. I think the last 5 international breaks, stretching back 2 years, we're back to 2023. We have gone into the international break on a defeat, and we come back from this defeat that we had against Fulham, and we have Chelsea next. So I'm hoping, beyond hope, that we turn up on Thursday night and that we can get some form of a result against Chelsea. It would make my entire April if we were to get a result against Chelsea, because yeah, we got a poor record against them. Saying that, Chelsea are not on form, but Tottenham have a habit of, when teams are not on form, we gift them the 3 points. There are so many teams that we gifted the first wins of this season this year. So I'm just hoping that Chelsea is not one of them. So that's where I am. Drew Lat is saying, I celebrate Mother's Day every day because being a mum is a daily journey, not just a one-day celebration. Sending love to all the strong mothers out there every single day. It's exactly what I said earlier, Drew Lat. I said that mothers are there for life. It's not just a one day, but, today, because the name is Mother's Day, we have to give a shout out to all mothers So all mothers today, please enjoy your day. Nita says, thanks, Jose and Chang. Thank you very much for being here, Nita. Bella says, 18 days is so long. And now Chelsea. Drula says, thanks, guys. Great show. Flexing a member chat. And then you've got Nita saying, bye, chat. Have a nice day. See ya. TTID. Know that. There's a bye-bye, Bella. And yeah, with that, Chang, thank you very much for today. We will catch everyone up on episode 5 next Sunday. But thank you all for watching. And as always, it's come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
And in the big end, I still trust. Take care, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. Have a fantastic time.